on any of these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell. Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Wait,
Stop it.
I look for the giant chicken!
Now, Etch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Power Shut Up podcast. I'm excited to have our guest on tonight because we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is leadership. But before we get started with introducing you to these wonderful women, I'm going to actually make sure that I say happy birthday to all of those who are celebrating a birthday out there. I know April is my month, but I'm not going to be selfish. So I wanted to say happy birthday to all of those who are out there celebrating, because I look for any reason to celebrate. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't care. I also wanted to say happy anniversary to those who are out there celebrating love. I'm a mushy gushy kind of person. So yes, love is. So happy anniversary to you all. And last but not least is congratulations to those who have bought a new house, started a new career, started that class they've been talking about but didn't do anything about. Thank you so much for joining in here to celebrate the Power Shut Up podcast, because we're only in, I think, 5th or 6th episode. I can't remember. But I appreciate you showing up for us, and I say congratulations to you. I also wanted to give you some background on a couple of projects I'm working on, just to keep you up to, abreast of what's going on with me. I actually am working on, as a lot of you know, a TV show as a producer and writer. It's called Dr. Gail on Love, Sex, and Marriage. And we have gotten our cast together. We started filming in Dallas, and we start in the DMV in December. We'll be doing some filming. So I'm really excited about it. So please make sure you tune in. I'll keep you posted. But we're working on the pilot right now, and then we'll work towards the whole series. But I'm excited about that project. And I did also want to mention that Dr. Gail on Love, Sex, and Marriage, she's also somebody who I've connected with over the years. She has a conference called Bringing the Sexy Back to the Marriage, and it's the battlefield for marriage. That's the theme this year. She does it every January. So if you are engaged to be married, or you're married and you're looking for that weekend where wives get together and get our stuff together, because sometimes we need checking too. I know we can point out the things that our husbands might not be doing right, but sometimes we got to get it together too. So I enjoyed that weekend. I'm already registered, so I want you all to check her out. I'm probably missing something else that I'm working on, but we're going to get into our guests. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to our guest this evening. If you all have seen, because I'm trying to get out there in TikTok land and do my thing. I'm trying to keep up, y'all. I'm doing my best, but I've been promoting a Sister Leaders Conference, which from what I understand is they're in their 3rd year. But I'm honored to actually have some of the panelists and speakers from the conference come and join us tonight and tell us about what's about to happen on their platform. I am a lover of leadership, and especially women in leadership. Not only just women in leadership, my sisters in leadership, which hence the name, right? So I wanted to have everyone introduce themselves rather, and then tell us about what's going on with the Sister Leaders Conference. And I really want you to tell me why you decided that you absolutely wanted to be a part of it. So we're going to start with Dr. Carla. Introduce and tell us who you are, and then tell us a little bit about why Sister Leaders Conference.
Yes, good evening, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your program. I am totally grateful and honored to be here. I am the founder of Let's Talk Dreams Academy, and really it's about the acronym of doing, responding effectively with your abilities to maximize success. And I am in my 2nd year with the Sister Leaders Conference. And I was here originally because I wrote a book, and my book is entitled His Glory Revealed After This. And it really was the segue for me after my divorce, just to find out what life looked like for me. And so I feel like I'm living in my after this moment, and I'm really living in my dreams. And so being a part of the Sister Leaders Conference was an opportunity for me just to really collaborate with other women and to have visibility and have a seat at the table. I participated in a book anthology with the Sister Leaders Conference as well last year about Yes You, Yes Now. And oftentimes, as leaders, and particularly women leaders, you need the support of your sister circle to really push you. So this, knowing that this is your moment, this is your now, and this is a space and an opportunity for you to soar. So thank you.
Absolutely. I love it. Actually, collaborations are wonderful
Yes.
for those very reasons. That's why I love to do collaborations. And it also kind of dismisses that myth that we can't get along, because we're actually out here getting along in many spaces. They just happen to be in the wrong spaces, I guess.
Right.
But we are doing that over here. So thank you for sharing that. I wanted to move down to Dr. Portia Basham. Can you share with us why Sister Leaders Conference? Why did they get your yes? And tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. You on mute, Dr. Portia? Can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us. Sharifa, can you send her a message? Oh, she said 1 minute. Got you. Oh, we're actually going to breathe. We're going to move to you. Oh, wait a minute. We got her back. Can you come off mute for us? You on mute?
Can hear you.
Oh, we almost had her.
It's not moving. There. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Well, good evening, everybody. I am so sorry. Listen, technology tends to get us every time. Technology. Oh my gosh.
So, Dr.
It
Portia,
tends
tell
to
us a
get
little
us
bit about.
every single time.
Yes, tell us a little bit about who you are and why you said yes to the conference. I think we have a delay.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am Dr. Portia Basham, and I am a brand and business strategist for the leading ladies in society. I like to say leading ladies because many hats, those women and the wife and the entrepreneur and busy doing stuff. So I am super excited to be here. So I am the founder and the professor at the Purpose Women's Academy, and I am also a 5-time best-selling author. But the one thing that I enjoy doing the best is being the founder and the director and the minister for She Ministries, which is an online community for leading ladies of society. This is where we come together and we learn how to balance the thing called life. I believe my mission is to help female entrepreneurs stand firm on their purpose, both in life and in business, and equipping them with those necessary things that they need in order to move forward. Why Sister Leaders Conference? Oh my God, this is my second year being part of the Sister Leaders Conference. And I believe that Dr. Karen has done a great job at gathering the women and to bringing them forward to show up on purpose. There's one thing I remember somebody always, one of my clients actually repeated somebody's quote was, You cannot be a hidden secret. And in order for you to be out there and people to know what it is God has called you to do, you have to actually show up. And I believe the Sister Leaders Conference is a platform that gives the opportunity to show up, not just to show up to be a speaker, but really and truly to show up to be a speaker, to be a writer, because you also take part in being an author of the anthology book, which really takes a lot from you, because now you are responsible for telling a story, telling your story, and telling people how you have overcome certain things. So I think Sister Leaders in its entirety really speaks to the leader in you. Mm-hmm. It really speaks to the leader in you, and every one of us have a different way of coming across as leaders, and that is what that conference really encompasses: how you could show up in different ways and still be successful.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited about this because this is the first year that I've actually heard about the conference itself. So to know that you all are staying strong with this, and this is the third year, and you all have stayed consistent with being a part of it, speaks volumes to Dr. Karen. Absolutely. I wanted to bring Bree into the conversation, and the same question goes for you. We want to know who you are, what you're doing, and we also want to know why they got your yes.
So, hi, everyone. I'm Bree Smith. I'm a CPA and wealth strategist. And what I do is I help parents to start living their dream lives and walk into their calling with custom financial plans. And when I talk about dream lives, I'm not talking about the American dream. I'm talking about the one that makes your heart flutter, that you feel like, hey, if I don't do this, like I can't sleep at night. So it's your God-given calling that you know that you have to do no matter what. And so I said yes because I love Dr. Karen. She is phenomenal. And she was the very first coach that I had that actually gave me a return on my investment. So I know that I'm sowing into good soil. And that alone is enough for me. Last year, I was a little too nervous to step out and be a like full-blown speaker. And so I just watched on the sidelines. And this year I was like, no, I'm putting myself out there, and, decided to go full-time in my business and just take that leap of faith. So it's been a fun and bumpy ride.
I'm sure. And let me ask you all a question, because you mentioned that there's a collaborated effort as far as a book is concerned. So is that what led to the conference, or did that come after the conference?
It will be after the conference. Okay. I believe it comes out in February or so. Okay. So I am part of the book as well. I love are, and so it should be coming out, I believe, in February 2024.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the conference and what the mission of the conference is, and either one of you can actually speak in, and I'll hear from all of you, but tell us a little bit about what Dr. Karen wants to achieve. My educated guest would be all good things, but yeah, please share with me what she wants to accomplish from this.
One of the things that I believe Dr. Karen has on her heart was, even in her desire to be a part of senior leadership, she was looking and searching for a coach that would be available to her and that was affordable. And she didn't find it initially, or then when she did find it, it was at a fee that was something that was outside of her budget for a while. And so when she was able to have the coach, she wanted to make sure that she opened the door for other ladies to be able to have access into rooms with information, tools, and strategies so that they could excel in leadership as well. So her desire is not just for the room to be filled with the women, because she understands that it takes men to be, components to be able to hold the door open, if you will. And so it became from her heart's passion to be able to present opportunities and tools and resources so that others can become successful in their lane. And so that's where the sister leadership was birthed, out of that just passion and compassion to help others soar.
I love it. I love it. Did Bree or Dr. Portia, did you all have anything to add?
I think Dr. Carlin knocked it out of the park. Like she was spot on. Dr. Karen couldn't have probably said it better herself. So
I think if you could repeat your question, only because
Oh, there's
It's
a delay.
breaking up on my side. If you could just repeat your question, but I think Dr. Carla did a great job at explaining quite a bit, but just repeat the question for me to make sure I got the question.
What I asked was, what do you think
Yes.
Dr. Karen's mission was for having the conference? I'm not sure if she caught it.
No, I did not hear, but I'll tell you what, I am going to figure out what you said because I got it. What do you think the mission for having the conference? Okay, the mission for having the conference, I think Dr. Karen, she's very into leadership. She's into making sure everybody shows up and shows up correctly. And I think Dr. Carla definitely covered a lot of Dr. Karen's mindset into going to the conference. But one of the things that resonates is the fact that she is in corporate America and she wanted to also, make sure that you show up correctly when you come to the boardroom. You can't be in leadership and not have all your ducks in a row, that kind of thing. So everything she does is in excellence. And I think she wanted other ladies and gentlemen, just the same, to see that when you are showing up, you show up in excellence just the same.
Absolutely. So I have another question for you all, which I'm sure you have heard this question many times over. It's one of the easiest ones, but sometimes it's still a loaded question. What makes a good leader in your eyes, Dr. Carla?
A good leader is someone who is willing to lead and has the experience, not just to tell you what to do, but to be a part of what you do. I often share with my team where I manage at work is that it's necessary for you to see me in the trenches with you and not just telling you what to do, because managers will manage work, but leaders will lead people. And so if I desire for you to go somewhere and to produce something, I certainly have to be a forerunner so that I can show you what's necessary so that we might be able to accomplish the goal together. So a good leader is not someone that's just going to tell you what to do, but they're going to lead you in the manner so that you can produce and you can be successful.
Absolutely. What about you, Bree?
I like to say accountability is first and foremost. I think a great leader takes accountability. So I love how Dr. Carla was saying being in the trenches with you, but also just owning their own mistakes, not pretending to be perfect, letting them know that it's okay to make mistakes, but hey, we're just not going to continue to make the same ones because at that point we're being negligent. But, just owning their flaws too, so that maybe their subordinates don't feel as like under pressure or like they have to be perfect or things of that nature. And then outside of that, I would say a good leader also has like the heart posture of a servant as well. Like I like to think like Jesus went ahead and washed the disciples' feet. Now I don't need any boss to wash my feet, and I'm not washing nobody's feet. But what I'm saying is just like when it comes to just having that heart of service first. So just seeing what it is that your employees need. How can I pour into you so that I can help you to rise up and be better in your role, in your position? Because overall, if I make sure that I'm empowering you to do better and be better, then the company is going to benefit greatly from it. So yes, that's what I love to look at.
Dr. Portia, you want to add to what do you think about what is leadership to you?
What is leadership to me? Thank you. I believe leadership is where we take the time to point to others. And I think so far the ladies before has said, explained it very nicely. From my perspective, it's about teaching others to be able to bring them forward. You go up the mountain, you bring people up the mountain with you. And I don't even think it's really just bringing them up, but teaching them how to sustain themselves on the mountain, teaching them how to start to think beyond just being the line staffs, teaching them how to think beyond just being the supervisor. So you go to a business space, and some people are so content in just being there, starting to give them ways to think beyond just being here. You start here, but don't let the next 10 years find you here. And I think that's what leadership is all about, giving them that insight that there is better, or there is more, or there is something else that you could work towards. Now, at the same time, if you want to be the person who sweeps the floor, I believe in doing that so well that nobody else could master it better than you. So that's also leadership, where you're teaching them how to be the best that they could be at the level that they figure they are comfortable in. So there's just so many different ways of bringing leadership, the term leadership across, but these are what I think works for me.
Yes, I absolutely agree with everything you all said. And the good thing about being a leader is there isn't one blueprint. There are many ways to get people, what gets people a little caught up sometimes, because they think that maybe I'm not good enough to be a leader. And I've explained this on a couple of projects that I've been on, and that I didn't even recognize, times those who are leaders are just in the trenches getting on and don't even realize that they are leading. People realize is that sometimes the seeing in the forefront, standing at the podium, is not always the leader. That it's important that leaders are also able to and not be seen at all. And those are some strong leadership roles, because it's hard for people to step aside, especially if they feel like I did it. They want to be seen, but it takes a real strong person to be okay with the fact that, somebody else can lead this effort and I was a part of it. It doesn't mean that you didn't lead it anyway. So I like some of the things you all are sharing. And I did want to, before we go any further, to welcome those who are tuning in. Victoria, we have Sharon Parker who's tuned in. Thank you so much. Those are people who continuously support the platform. I thank you, ladies. I think they're loving what you're sharing as well. But I did want to go a little deeper into asking you all what it is in particular you are doing at the conference or speaking on. I don't know if you all have different topic matters, but tell me individually what you all will kind of be speaking on and what whoever attends will have the opportunity to get from you when they attend this conference. Let's start at the bottom. Dr. Portia, let's go back to you and go back around, go up.
Okay. So I showed up at the conference as the purposed woman. And the reason why I showed up as the purposed woman is because I'm encouraging the ladies to show up, or the gentlemen to show up on purpose. It's one thing to just be there, but it's another thing to show up with an agenda, to show up with a direction. The talk for the conference was based on the purposed woman and basically leadership. Out of 100% of the times, we see that more male figures are within the leadership roles, and women are not ready within the leadership roles. So I was explaining to the audience that this actually has just moved up a little bit. The handle for that has moved up just a little bit. But if we look at it in churches, we have the ratio of women to men are higher. And if we are not pouring into the women leadership, in the future, we're going to find ourselves in problems, because we have more women than we have men in churches. And I was just giving them the pointers that they need to build themselves as leaders. If from a woman's standpoint, pointers to build themselves as leaders, and then also giving them the options as to how they now could be qualified much better into leadership roles. Take courses, take mentorship programs, things like that could take them from one level to the other.
I love it. Okay, we're going to circle around to you. What is the people who you've invited to come and those who will meet you there? What do they have to look forward to when you speak at the conference?
So I'll be speaking on the 3 keys to generational wealth. I'm very excited about it. And what I want people to walk away from it is, one, what is their purpose? What is it that they feel like is their God-given calling? If they're not sure on it, at least to start getting an inkling of an idea. And then from there to have some steps that they can actually use starting right now, today, this week, to start building their legacy and generational wealth and sustain it. So what are some steps that I can take right now? What is it that I can do to start pushing my family forward and change my family tree so that we break the cycles of generational poverty? A lot of women are they're the first in their family. They're the first ones making this much money. They're the first ones this educated. They're the first ones trying to figure it all out. And even for some men. And so I want them to be able to know, like, hey, you may be the first one to be able to touch a lot of money, but if you don't do the right things with it, if you take that same mentality that you grew up around, you'll lose it all. You won't have anything to show for it. So I want to show them, how is it, can you build on this? Can you grow this? And I'm gonna give them the first steps. And if they want more, then they'll just have to come talk to me.
Hey, that's right. That's how you do it. Look, I just had a conversation, I think it was yesterday evening, with my daughter, because she does some training on financial literacy. And that's kind of what, you're speaking to that. And I think it's very, very important. The sooner that we start to explain that and share that with younger people, because I think that's where we mess up. I mean, I remember being in college, and of course you don't have a job most of the time when you're in college. And if you do, you're not paying attention to the fact that they're giving you this credit card. It's just like a easy button. Yes, I'll take it. And then you have this credit card, you have access to this money, and you haven't thought twice about how you're going to pay the bill in 30 days. So I like that is actually something that is on the table as well, because I don't think we talk enough about that. So it's good to hear. And I like the fact that we have several, generations. I always talk to my daughter about being a millennial, and that, we all think differently. Boy, sometimes the struggles of having conversations with with different generations can be a challenge. And that's because life is different for her than it is for me. But the fact that there are different generations that'll be speaking, I think also speaks volumes to who you're trying to reach. Dr. Carla, I wanted to ask you the same thing. What are you going to be talking about at the conference that we look forward to?
Yes, my area of expertise for the conference is just really talking about your dreams and maximizing your success. So my focus is that it starts in the dark. And most of the time, the new day begins at midnight, and you have to walk through some trauma. You might have to walk through some darkness, things not looking like you anticipated them to be. But if you keep on moving, you will move into the light of a brand new day. So it starts in the dark. Dreams in your night season produce vision for your day. So I want to be able to help someone maximize their vision, to see that even though it might not look like what you anticipated it, if you keep on looking and if you keep on striving, the light will show up that everything that you desire to do and become is available to you. So that's what Let's Talk Dreams. We talk about the pathway and the strategies to show you how you can maximize your success. And oftentimes what I find is it's necessary for us to change our mindset, and then also not self-sabotage, because most of us have dreams, have aspirations, that if somebody asks you, what did you want to do, or what did you want to become? We have a merit of ideas, but then we self-sabotage and don't move forward and to be able to make them a reality. So I want to just tap into that and push a little bit so that we expose and open up that opportunity so that you can have a breakthrough in a brand new day.
I love it. Dr. Carla said, lights, camera, action. Lord, but like, what y'all going to do about this? I love it. I mean, if those who and I want to thank Portia and Portia, that's you. I'm thinking that's someone else, and Josephine for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to leadership. I know that that's a topic that a lot of people talk about, but I like the fact that we have some women here who are not just talking about it, but they're being about it, and you can go and see them. So what I wanted to do is have you all, before we kind of transition into how this connects to the Power Shut Up, because we're on the Power Shut Up podcast, this could be fun. Or not sometimes, but I wanted to first ask if you all could share some details on how they can, if it's tickets or where the conference is, and how can they get in touch with someone to see how they can be in the room or be in the Zoom or whatever you all are doing.
Yes, they can register at letsgosis.com. It's a free registration. So for anyone, you can't be free. So you just got to be willing to show up, because there's some amazing keynote speakers and even more ladies and gentlemen besides ourselves that have taken the time to be able to make the tools and resources available for you so that you can be and become. So it's letsgosis.com.
Letsgosis.com. So you all please go register. I also wanted to ask you, are there men also speaking on the panel, or is it all women?
There are men speaking as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a couple men.
So for all of those who assume, because you saw sister leaders, people will assume that sister leaders conference means just the women, but that's absolutely not true. There are men that'll be speaking there, and I love that, because it also shows that men and women can come together for a good cause, which is leadership. So I think we have the information is in the chat. So you all please feel free to reach out. I think Sharon Parker had a question. She said, when is the conference? It's held October 27th, 28th. So they are gearing up. They got to get some sleep after this interview, as a matter of fact, so they can get some rest, because I know that means that, you got to get ready. I know. And so we're not going to keep them long, but the second half of the show, we're going to kind of tie this into the Power Shut Up, because what I found with the Power Shut Up, which was stemmed from, and you all talked about a book. I actually wrote a book back in 2019 called The Power Shut Up. And I think that leadership is definitely connected to the Power Shut Up. Now, I know most people would initially see the book or see the title and think I was telling people to shut up. Okay, that's actually not what I'm telling people to do. Well, kind of, sort of, just a little bit. But really, it's about communication, and that we have to just do better about how we communicate. And definitely in leadership roles, how you communicate with your employees, if you're, the boss, if, with your boss, if you're the employee, all of those things, whatever way you want to take it, really matter in communicating, whether you get that promotion or whether you, get an opportunity is there. And it can be flipped. So some people take advantage of the spaces they're in, even when you're in your best behavior with your communication. Yes. So there's negatives and there's positives to it. There's also the silent thing that can be used as a weapon or a good thing. So those are the kind of things we talk about with the Power Shut Up. But in connecting that with leadership, I wanted to ask each of you, and I'll start with you, Dr. Carla. So in the lane of the power of shut up, what has been a situation that you've run across in your leadership role where your power to speak or shut up was challenged, and how did you get through that? Because what I do want to show on the podcast is how people who are in leadership, business owners, whatever you may be doing in life, how you get to the other side. Because there are some people out here that feel like, I can't do that. Like, I can't be quiet. Like, shut up. No, I'm not doing that. So I like to kind of show how it works to your benefit. And it's not really a bad thing. So I know people ain't gonna believe me, but I really don't get offended when somebody tells me to shut up now, because I know what it means to me. So yeah, can you share what's something that was challenging to you in that area?
Well, from the beginning in leadership, I'm pretty much this soft-spoken person. And a lot of times people will take your meekness as an
Yes.
opportunity to speak over you or make what your value is insignificant. But I've learned through communication and hiring my own business coach to help me to be able to communicate effectively. So, one of the things that I've learned is to stay authentic to myself.
Mhm.
And it's not that I need to raise my voice as much as I need to raise my level of content. So,
Mhm.
it's like, not that I don't have anything to say, but I need to be heard. And so I'm going to make sure that I elevate what it is that I need to say, stay true to myself, and minimize the negative voices that would speak, that would say, you don't have anything to say. So oftentimes I find that people will say, or I'm a quiet storm, because I don't need to push the door, right? Because I know when I do speak that it's quality, that it's there to
Yes.
make a difference. And I have the tools and techniques that you need to be able to handle and to present yourself in a way that you are heard as well. So, one of the tools that I always say to myself is that you can be wise and harmless. And the wisdom comes from knowing what it is that you need to convey, and then still be harmless enough as a dove that I don't have to move outside of my character or personality to get the job done. And it has really worked for me because I'm not raising my voice, I'm raising the content of what I need to communicate.
I grabbed so much from what you just said. And I mean, and it's confirmation for me because I did have to learn the hard way.
Hmm.
I am one of those that was like, oh no, 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 I found my voice and I'm going to use it. So I had to learn that, you don't, and I have to give credit to my husband. Just don't tell him.
Yeah.
But I had to, give it to him that there were many times when he said, you don't have to say, everything that comes to your head. And I
Mhm.
think that the challenge with, especially women, I'm going to say that we have fought so hard for our voices to be
To
heard.
be heard.
We want to be
Mhm.
understood, that we get frustrated, and that turns out to be, the yelling and the screaming and things like that. And it's coming from a place of hurt, and sometimes just frustration with nobody listening to me. I know that's where mine was coming from.
Yeah.
But I like what you said, because that's the message that I think that young women and men, and not just young, everyone should realize that your voice is really a power within itself. You just have to know how to use it to your benefit, and you have mastered yours in the space of quiet and peacefulness. And I think that people are really kind of sleeping on you if they think that because you're quiet or
Yes.
reserved, that somehow what you have to say is any less powerful than the loudest person in the room. So this is a reminder to those folks that it ain't true. But I'm going to dip over to Dr. Portia, and then Bree, we're going to come to you. But same kind of thing. What is something that you've learned in regards to your voice, or the power of shut up, as I like to call it, that kind of pushed you to a better place? Because some people just don't believe that being quiet, or reserving or taming the tongue, is actually a good thing and will take you to good places. But tell me about what you think.
I'm going to take it from the point of knowing when to share stuff. And as a leader, you cannot tell your game plan to any and everybody,
Hmm.
especially as a leader. You have to choose the bite sides to give to them, because one, you don't want them to overthink it, and two, you don't want them to sabotage whatever it is you're trying to do, because not everybody is with you.
Right.
So that was one of the things I had to learn. I had to learn that there's certain things that you said at the time of them doing the task, and they will, your staff or whoever you're working with will say, well, I want to know how to do this, I want to do this. Yes, but you will learn it in time, and then they're going to always pressure you because they're thinking, oh, you don't trust me, you don't. It's not that. It's just that as the leader, I am choosing what amount of information I could give to you. I'm choosing what amount of information that I believe you are privy of. And sometimes doing it that way makes you, the leader, start to calculate what works and what doesn't work. So I think it's the matter of knowing when to speak, when to give the instructions, and to whom to give the instructions to. Not everybody on your team could handle your ideas. You miles ahead of where they are, and giving it to them before their time, letting them know all what's going on in your head, you now overwhelm them, and you're never going to get your task done. So I think knowing when to deliver the right instructions and to speak to the right people is very important as leaders.
Oh, that's a great point. And I like the point that you brought up about that they might not be ready. We assume that because we got it going on now, that everybody's on the same page, and everybody's not ready. Not only to listen to what you have to say, because you even got to be ready to hear it, but even to embrace it and do something about it. So some people will just hear you, but they ain't doing nothing with that information because they're just not ready, out of fear, out of whatever it may be. And sometimes we do have to wait. Timing is everything. I absolutely love that. So Bree, tell us about something that you've overcome, or maybe that you haven't even overcome. Is something that you're working on. Because I always tell people with the Power Shut Up that I am never going to be the master. There are going to be days when you're going to ask me, did you write that book? I did. And I did not follow my techniques today, but it's okay. But Bree, tell us a little bit about, your challenges.
So one of the things that I had to learn a few years ago is me. I was a hothead, and so I had to learn to not react based off of how others treated me. So I used to be someone where it was like, oh, if someone's talking crazy to me, even in the work setting, like, you got these keyboard warriors, and I'd be like, well, excuse you, according to this. And so it was like, hey, look, you got to chill out. Like, you need to calm down, because I dealt with some really nasty people sometimes. At first, when I was starting out, like, they would just come at you condescending and nasty. And I did an excellent job, but I don't think they liked that for some reason. So it was just like starting with them. It was like, oh, it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment. And so I had a really great relationship with my CFO because she said that she was grooming me to be the next CFO. So she was like, look, I know that she's being rude and she's getting demoted. So don't you worry about that. But what I need you to do is I need you to watch how you respond. No one should have that much control over you that they determine how you respond. And then when she said that, I'm like, oh no, they ain't got control over me. So, so it was like, you know what? All right, let me go ahead and calm down. And I started watching how I reacted or how I responded. I had no control over how they spoke to me or how they treated me. But I saw that also by rising above. Young me thought that you were being a punk. I'm not going to lie to you. But older me, I'm seeing now, it was like, I now feel like I'm more elevated. Like, they really get upset when you are still polite to them or still professional, or then you just set healthy boundaries and just say, excuse me, please don't speak to me this way. Now, this is how we're handling this. Or you do know that we are in a work setting. Let's be professional here, or something like that. So now it's just like, oh, let me, they get that little attitude, but it's like, I don't care. Like, do you, boo? But what you ain't gonna do is like for me or dull my shine. So that really helped me a lot.
Absolutely. I have a confession. Bree was me. And when I talk about, my book and I speak on the Power Shut Up, I actually say those very things that, I used to absolutely get offended when something would happen that was clearly not something I deserved. But, when someone responded to were trying to be kind. I get it. And saying, don't let anybody steal your joy. And then, of course, my neck got to moving like, how am I letting somebody steal my joy? I didn't, we do that. And what I realized after I took a step back and thought about it was, but isn't that exactly what we're doing? Because once you respond, you have now passed over your power to them. And most of the time when we respond off the cuff like that, we have passed it over and now they're good and we are messed up for the rest of the day. And sometimes weeks and months. And that's why I had to learn how to, hone that in a little bit. I know I have a little fire and sass with me, but it's not always appropriate. And I had to learn that it didn't mean, in addition to that, that I was wrong about what I felt and what was going on. I think I was equating it to right and wrong. And there are times when you have to make a decision that even though you feel like you are right, you are justified, but it's just a way that you carry yourself that people will remember. I talked about this on one of my, I think a previous show we had, that if you walk into a room and somebody has done something to offend you, and now you are in response mode, if you respond the way you normally do, not thinking first, then you actually look just like the person that's coming for you. So someone walking in will have no idea who's right, who's
the
wrong.
leader.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. So you look just like them. And that to me kind of, shifts me back like, okay, wait a minute, because I don't want to come off like that. And then it's confusion. It's total kerfuffle. Nobody knows what's going on. So I like that you all are talking about this, that this is what they're going to get at the conference. Because actually what you talked about in the first half of the show is literally about these kind of things, because these are all leadership things. I wanted to do a shout out to those who have joined us since then. I think it's Misa or Misa. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And I think this is Mr. Payton. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, comment. I know we have a few more minutes, and then we're going to actually have these ladies share with us where you can reach out to them, contact them about what they do. And also, again, we'll get someone to share where they can get in touch with you all for the conference. But this has been great. So you all kind of understand, because a lot of times I have to explain what the Power Shut Up is. What does that have to do with anything? And it really does have to do with everything. It really does. No matter what kind of job you have. I talk about the Power Shut Up with your kids on social media. Leadership comes with so much responsibility. I think people are so excited about just being called a leader, but it's more than that. And a lot of times, it's just what you do. It's not what you're called. So some people show up in those spaces when they never received the label. It wasn't their intention. It's just how you move, how you show up in the world. And you all definitely are talking about subjects that I think will open the eyes to some other people. Because like I said, I didn't think I was a leader at all. I just was doing what I do. But I have been in positions where someone assumed that I was, this or that. And I couldn't figure out why, because it's like, no, nobody is. We just getting the work done. But it's how you show up. So let me ask you a personal question before you all tell everybody how they can contact you. What do you, as a speaker at this conference, what do you want to get out of this? What are you looking to grow from this? Because even when we say yes to these conferences and speaking, sometimes I think people miss the point that we're actually getting something for ourselves. So, selfishly, what do you, Dr. Portia, hope to gain from being a part of this project?
Yes, that's a loaded question, because sometimes we sign up for stuff and then we don't realize that we want something in return. I think for me it was the awareness that I could help you. I wanted that and then also into awareness into a different network of people. My network of people, everybody knows, everybody knows everybody, but I wanted to step into somebody else's network and to be able to be to not to be well to be seen, I guess is not quite the word I was looking for, but that's what we're going to run with tonight. To be seen and to be heard that I am able to help you. I don't think that we could grow just being in the same village all the time. We are able to grow if we could now move from this village to that village to this village, you understand? So I believe being part of that conference was giving me the opportunity to speak to a new set of audience, to be able to bring the message across that you could be the leader, that if you need to figure out how to balance life as a leading lady, hey, there is a community of women that could assist you. There's a community of women that you could come into and you could be part of that is prepared to help you. So for me, being part of the Sister Leaders Conference twice in a row was because I wanted to tap into an audience that was not my usual audience.
Okay. I love that. I love that because that's how you spread the word. If you continue to speak to the same people, how's the word going to get out there? I get it.
Yes.
So Bree, how about you?
So for me, I definitely want to be able to help more people, help more parents that are really trying to go after their goals and like their God-given calling, like walking in that purpose. That is so important to me. But also just being around like-minded women and women that are much further along than me. Like I'm over here with doctors and I get to speak, alongside them. So it's just very powerful just being able to also learn and feed off of the energy that's in the room. Being able to meet a lot of these women that are successful that look like me, and seeing how well that they're doing. That's just something I love, being in empowering, positive environments where it's like I can learn. I feel like I can learn from anyone, but I know I can learn from a lot of these women, even just hearing what they're going to talk about. I can't wait for their talks. I'm like, I'm going to have my pen ready. Like I might have to go ahead and cancel some clients tomorrow because like, I don't know how y'all got on this calendar because I don't want to miss a piece of it. So it's just really being able to learn, grow myself, collaborate with amazing women that are excelling in their zone of excellence, and also being able to increase my own visibility, letting people see what it is that I do and how I can help them as well.
I love it. Dr. Carla, how about you?
Yes, I believe my purpose is helping other people aspire to become themselves. So that's my first real reason to be here, just to be able to help someone achieve their goals, to find within themselves that there's more to them. We've been sitting so long with our gifts and our talents just laying dormant, and this is an opportunity to be able to expose areas of you that you haven't even tapped into. So that's part of why I'm here. I'm also just passionate about the fact that I'm in the middle somewhere. There's ladies that are leading ladies above me that I can reach up to, and then there's others that I can reach back and help. So it's like a continuum that we can keep tag teaming one another in a community that's a safe place, so that you don't feel like I'm not good enough or I don't have the skill or the competency, but everything that you need is in this community so that you can grow. And so we're tapping into resources by collaborating and having exposure and visibility. So my takeaway is that I want to build relationship so that you can foster and grow, so that you can have a greater reach and impact for what we do as women and sister leaders together.
Thank you so much for that. I want to, and of course, thank you to Dr. Karen for putting this together, but thank you to you all for recognizing the space for what it is, and then stepping up to the challenge, because That's the leader, the one who's, steps up and says, okay, what do I need to do? And scared or not, you just jump in and do what needs to be done. So I wanted to, before we go into our TikTok moment, I wanted to go around and let everyone know where they can connect with you. And then if one of you all could share again where they can get tickets, and remind them that it's tomorrow and the next day, I believe. So whoever can share, but let them know how people can reach out and contact you. Dr. Carla?
Okay, I can be found at letstalkdreamsacademy.com. That's our platform. I also am on social media. I am just really at this point on Facebook, but it's Carla Rose Franklin is my social media name. And I'm just at this point continuing to grow and expand, but I do look forward to sharing and meeting you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Bree, tell us where we can find you.
Yes, so you can find me on my website, bsmithfinancial.com, or on all social media at Bree Smith CPA. I have a podcast, 1322 Life, talking about God and finances, that I'm about to reboot, as well as just come hang out with me, talk about money.
Absolutely. I'm taking down all these notes, y'all, so we can stay connected. Dr. Portia, how can they find you?
Well, first you could go to my website. It's portiabasham.com, and on there you are going to get all the different handles to follow me on the social platforms. But what I want to invite them to as well is to be part of the leadership certification program that I'm offering to the women, so that way they could take their place in leadership. So I'm offering a 10 weeks program, which is this Christian leadership program, and it is also what do you call that? Accredited by the Christian Bible Institute. So I'm really excited about that program. So go ahead on portiabasham.com and you will see the link for it. And if you need to find out any further information, you could go ahead and send me a quick email, info@portiabasham.com. Thank you.
I love it. Well, it has been a pleasure meeting you ladies and hanging out. Thank you for, coming on to the Power Shut Up podcast. I will mention that, and I think it was in the chat, where you can get your tickets to be a part of this conference. So please, I think, and I'm trying to see, Shariva, if we have it in the chat. Yes, Sister Leaders Conference, register for free at letsgosis.com. I love that name. And I actually wanted to lead us into this TikTok moment. So this is going to be directly connected to the Power Shut Up. And then we're going to come back, and I'm going to remind everybody when we come on here on Thursdays and say goodnight. So let's have that TikTok moment.
And then avoiding communication with them is not protecting your peace. It is avoiding accountability. Let me just say that again. When you mistreat people and then cut off communication with them, you're not protecting your peace, you're avoiding accountability.
Wow.
You need to talk about it. And if you don't have the hard conversations, you'll have a hard relationship. It's just the way that life works.
And there you have it. Yeah, I mean, that was straight to the point and so real. But it was a direct connect to me with leadership, because if you're trying to lead, your team to success, how are you going to do that if you're shutting down because of whatever? And I'm probably on high with this right now, because I've taken a couple of classes that have to do with emotional intelligence and adversity intelligence. And I'm just on fire right now, because I'm like, yes. Yes. Now we got to get that message out to the others, which is exactly what you all are doing this weekend. So congratulations on the conference, all that you are doing. Thank you for what you're doing. And I wanted to remind everybody to tune into the Power Shut Up podcast every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stream live on the Power Shut Up page on Facebook and also on my YouTube channel, Lisa Dove Washington. And for those who like to tune in on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart, I think I got them all. We also stream to those platforms as well. So again, thank you for tuning in and meeting these wonderful women who are out here showing people what leadership looks like. And until next week, we will see you later.
Awesome.